MacVoices 2024 Holiday Gift Guide, number 5, Part 1. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by 1Password Extended Access Management. It is security for the way we work today. Find out more at onepassword.com/MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is yet another MacVoices 2024 Holiday Gift Guide show. I'm delighted to have some of my friends show up to each one of these. We do 4 rounds of gift picks, one for each person. That gives us roughly 16 picks, but inevitably somebody mentions something else that ends up on the list. It's always a lot of fun, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad all of these folks are here. A couple things to know. First of all, the master list for all the picks for the gift guide are on the MacVoices website in the news or blog section. Second, you will find the links directly to the items we picked tonight right in the show notes of this episode and on that master list. And the third way you can get to it is that we flip all of these into a Flipboard magazine so that you have graphical representations of this. And of course, the Flipboard magazine is best accessed in the Flipboard app, but you can also pull it off an RSS feed or on the web. So it doesn't matter how you get to the gift picks, just get to them because they will help you get through the holidays. So with that, I want to let you know that Brian Flanigan-Arthurs is here. He's probably the most festive panelist we've had yet. Brian, great to see you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and I appreciate the distinction.
It's distinctive. You want to explain? Obviously, we know what the T-shirt is, but what again is the hat?
Oh, sure. The hat was just a giveaway from a Phoenix Suns game at the last Christmas, and I figured what a better time to wear it.
You have the Phoenix Suns on the brain.
Literally.
Yeah. Next up is a face we haven't.
Joke.
Yeah, it was good. We haven't seen Brittany Smith for a long time because she's had some other priorities that we all absolutely understand and agree with. But I'm so glad that she's back for a holiday gift guide. Britt, it's great to see you.
It's always great to see you, Chuck.
I'm so glad you're here. I know that the MacVoices Live times can be a little bit challenging for you, but we got to get you back. We really do miss you.
Yeah.
Last but not least, looking a bit different tonight because he doesn't have a background, Mr. Jim Rea. Jim, it's good to see you as well. You look like really intense tonight with the hat pulled down and all.
That's why I usually wear that.
That's the casual hat adjust.
That's why I usually wear that other hat so it doesn't shade my eyes. And I am not sitting in my usual spot because we don't have a green screen, so I've had to kind of make a little makeshift area that this doesn't look that great, but believe me, my usual setting, it really doesn't look great.
So now we all want a picture of Jim's regular setting and what it really looks like without the green screen.
You really don't. And did I mention I don't like Ecamm?
Yeah. We're going to leave that right there. Don't want to lose any sponsors. So you all know the rules. You've been here before. So we're just going to get right to it. And if it's okay with you, I'm going to keep the same order. So that gives the man with the Phoenix Suns hat the very first pick for this gift guide. Brian, what do you got?
All right. So the very first pick that I chose is something that I use on a daily basis. It was originally given to me as a gift probably about 5 years ago. It's got, again, like I said, almost daily use, something I enjoy both at home and at work, and that is the Ember cup. And the Ember cup.
Oh, man.
I think we have a steal right off the bat.
And this one in particular is a 10-ounce size, but they also make a few other varieties. About 2 years ago, I actually got a 14-ounce version as well, and for a Christmas gift. And like I said, they're incredible. They essentially, if you're not familiar with what they do, you pour your coffee into them. You have a temperature set. You set it on an app that connects via Bluetooth, and once your desired temperature is reached, the cup maintains that temperature. So like 135 degrees for coffee, something I enjoy it at. It'll keep it there, and I think it promises about 80 minutes. For the smaller version, I think maybe a little bit longer on the 14-ounce model. But I did discover something new. Like I said, I got the original one about 5 years ago, and then about 2 years ago, this other size. But I discovered something that I didn't realize existed for it, which has been really beneficial. And they're only like $10 each, and they are lids that go right into the cup. So you take basically the lid connects with the cup as such, and basically the couple great benefits to that is you can start your coffee at home. It's still too hot to drink, but in the morning, my morning commute's about 30 minutes. I can go ahead and start my commute, and then once I get to work, it's already good to go. It's already that desired temperature. And then because the lid is, I would say, nearly spill proof, it does have a little bit like a hole there, I think, just so the plastic piece probably doesn't crack, but nearly spill proof along that journey. And I found too that it tends to give me, I think, a little bit more time before that battery would go on it, because I think it's keeping the warmth a little bit longer into the cup. The Ember cup also sits on like a little coaster, and the coaster is plugged in and has connections on the bottom that allow it to maintain or get charged up. So that way the cup, if you're going to wait longer than that 80 minutes, you still get to enjoy it, before the battery runs out. And so, big fan of it. I'll make sure I put the links in the chat. But yeah, that's my first pick.
We haven't had that many coffee picks this year, so I'm kind of glad to see this, because it seemed like in past years coffee was everywhere. So I think this is maybe only the second or third coffee pick, but yeah, very nice, very nice.
That was totally going to be my first pick.
Sorry.
Now I'm scrambling. I will say, some developer friends of mine recommended the Ember to me about a year and a half ago, and I waited about a year. I kept watching for the price to go down, and there finally was a pretty good sale, and I'm like, all right. And in retrospect, hopefully I'm going to use this for, let's say, at least 3 years. I mean, maybe it'll be even more than that. And I use it every day. So that's going to be like at least 1,000 times. So if you divide the price by 1,000 for how much it costs for a cup of coffee, then it's a lot more, it's like, oh, it's way less than the coffee itself cost. So, but, I know I looked at the upfront cost and I'm like, I can't spend I think the regular price is $150. I can't spend $150 for a cup. That's insane. And yeah. I think, wind up spending like $106. But totally, in retrospect, since I use it every day, it's going to be fine in the long run. And I'm definitely going to be looking for that link for the little cap. I did not know about that.
Yeah, I just learned about that. I'm like, this is the coolest thing.
Like, how do you carry it in your car? Because with the handle, it won't fit in my cup holder in my car.
Well, I guess, and obviously it depends on the make and model and so forth of your car. But on mine, the two cup holders have like a little spacer in between, and so the side that's the handle, I kind of put that down.
Oh,
and
nice.
It has enough room on either side that allows for it. But I mean, I guess if you really needed to, I believe a lot of times you can get like adapters and like general adapters, not necessarily for Ember cups in particular, but general adapters that you can probably figure something out if he really wanted to. They also do sell. Now you already have your Ember, but they do sell like ones without handles, like more like a travel, container that's designed for travel in the first place. I'm not sure if they have like what kind of lids and stuff. Yeah.
Very nice pick. Very nice pick. And an endorsement from Jim right away.
Tempting.
Yeah.
And tempting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jim, I liked your math, because sometimes you spend what seems to be crazy amounts of money, but if you use something every day, if it's a better idea, it's well worth it. So I heartily endorse that kind of thing.
I think that's where an endorsement from somebody really matters. Like this is something I never would have even considered, but I had these friends that, just raved and raved and raved about it. Because, if you bought it and didn't use it, you'd feel really stupid spending that kind of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Brittany, it's your time for round one pick.
So this is a mount for a tripod, just a regular tripod that is MagSafe. And so you stick your phone on, and if you leave lots of camera setups like I do, you can take the phone off and on and not like screw up the angle much. And so I don't have to readjust constantly when I do that. And I can still take my phone back and do other stuff with it. And so I love these. Now, the listing that I originally used, I don't know what happened. They have some other product to the same listing that I've never purchased. I can't give you the actual link, but it's not a brand name or anything. It's just a little mount, and it's MagSafe. And I love that it keeps the angle so I can just remove slyly my phone and it'll keep its spot. So that's been my one of my favorite things, and it continues to be one of my favorite things for my video setups.
I wholeheartedly endorse your thinking, but for me, it's a little bit different reason. It's the ability to take the phone on and off the tripod mount that quickly. I mean, the old jaw things are fine, but inevitably it feels like you have to wrestle with them, and sometimes you don't get it right, and part of the jaw covers the camera. And with the MagSafe, it's just like getting in your car.
It will always screw it up because of the wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you just hover right there. It sucks right in. And I presume that one is strong enough, just like the ones I use, that I'm not sure I'd want to run around and wave the camera around, but you don't have to worry about it.
But I've got it on a tripod, right?
Yeah. True.
It's just, and it's never come off. They just stay right there. No matter how hot my lights get. And they just point there and hang out until I'm ready to take it off. And I can put it on any kind of tripod that has that sort of standard screw-in mechanism.
Yeah, $1.20. That's great. That's great. Nice pick. Nice pick. I know we haven't had a tripod mount of any kind or anything related to a tripod this year. So good job.
Hey!
As I say, I love how it can be used as just about any phone with MagSafe, So inevitably when we update our phones and, hey, this is a great product that works, you don't have to worry about it. You feel so bad about just the waste of so many accessory type products that we have that, we don't use after we get a new device.
Yeah, it works on my Mini exactly the same as somebody's Max.
Yeah.
Okay. Good pick. Jim, since Brian stole your first pick, are you dropping back to second, or are you just doing a replacement?
Well, I'm not that organized. I'm just kind of going through my Amazon list, and now I'm kind of shocked that our video call is still working, because now Amazon's not loading for me. And here, okay, I'll give you another loser pick. Oh, now this page won't even load anymore at all.
Hey,
I was
Jim,
looking at it.
When did you last restart your computer?
Not, a couple days. I bought this cool Wise floor lamp a couple months ago. Amazon says in October, It's something that was announced back in like 2021, and I was like, that sounds really cool, but they kept not shipping it and shipping it, you know. And I just noticed in October, wow, it's available. I wonder if I still want it. So I ordered it, and it's awesome. But now Amazon says it's not available anymore. So
Is that WYZE from the Wise Camera folks?
WYZE. It's from the Wise Camera folks, and it's a LED floor lamp, and it's got like a neck that you can bend around all different ways, and then it's got a little remote control puck that's wireless, and you can press it to turn it on and off, or you can turn it to adjust the brightness, so you can make it super bright, or and it's real narrow. So I use it for reading. It's great. So I can get it at just the right angle, so it's, you know, on what I'm reading, and you know, not flooding the whole room, or if Lynn's next to me, it's not bothering her. But it's super bright, which is good because, you know, I had cataract surgery, so I'd have a little bit of trouble with reading everything else of paper stuff. Everything else is fine, and this makes it so bright that it's great. So I hope it's not permanently discontinued. I don't know. It might be available directly from Wise.
Oh, and at this time of year, too, things fall in and out of availability so quick that, you know, there's a decent chance it'll be back. So, yeah. Now that you say that, I remember seeing it and thinking that seemed to have a lot of nice features, and then it sort of slipped my mind because I don't buy lamps that often.
Exactly. You know, well, I think I had made a reminder or something, and it was like 2 years between when I first heard about it and you know, I think when they announced it, they were like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be out in 2 months," and then 2 months, nope. To another 2 months, nope. And I kind of forgot about it, but then this fall, it's like, "Oh look, I think something popped in my head." I'm like, "I wonder if they ever did it," and sure enough, they did. It looks like it's got good ratings, 4.4 on Amazon. My Amazon page did pop back up again.
Good.
I've
Okay.
had good luck from that company. Yeah.
Yeah,
Me too.
They had a little bit of trouble with some security issues at one point, but I've got a couple of their cameras and I'm frankly, because of that, I'm a little careful as to exactly where I point them. But that said, they deliver a great picture for the value. So, or for the dollars, I should say. So, yeah, nice pick. Nice pick. You don't have to worry about security issues with a lamp.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
That sounds like a challenge, Chuck.
Yeah. The lamp is watching you. I'm going to pick something that I can't believe I'm picking because I've only had it for a few hours, but this may solve a problem that I've had for a while. In a previous gift guide, I picked the Philips the Philips Bloom, which is a smart Philips light that is sort of intended to sit maybe on the floor or behind something and cast a glow. And messing around on Cyber Monday, I saw the Amazon Glow, which is a multicolor smart lamp. And I thought, you know what? Let's see, because the only negative thing I could see on the reviews was it's not bright enough to read by. I got this today, plugged it in. I have not had a chance to play with all of it, but the colors are deep and rich, and I feel like this is something that could replace the Philips Hue Bloom, which is pretty expensive in the grand scheme of things, for this. Now, don't hold me to it. I think on Cyber Monday, it was like $17. The going price right now is $30, but still, that's half of the Bloom. And I'm delighted I got it to play with it. The only downside is, of course, that it's only Alexa. Sorry, the A-Lady. Sorry for those of you who I just triggered. So that's my only challenge with it, and it might be the only reason it goes back. But I've got to see if there's any way to trigger something. Just even a simple on and off would be good enough using the S-Lady. So, but that's a whole nother discussion. So if you're looking for like a colored ambient light that you can talk to with the A lady, this might be something you want to consider, because one of the things I said earlier is the reason I like the Philips stuff is that you kind of pay you get what you pay for. The colors on those are deep and rich. Some of the cheaper things just frankly aren't. This so far seems to be very much that nice deep rich color that I'm looking for. So give it a shot. I think it might be well worth it. And for $30, it's almost cheaper than trying to find a lamp and a smart bulb.
I was just thinking, if I could go back in time, if like, say, even 10 years ago, certainly 15 years ago, somebody said the sentence to me, if you're looking for an ambient colored light that you can talk to, that would have just been the most ultimate nonsense, right?
And would you think that somebody would return it for not being able to talk to it the correct way?
That would be that would be like, can we get the white truck out?
Yeah. Yeah, and Brittany, your point is well taken too. Yeah, the biggest downside I can say to this is it doesn't talk to this smart assistant that I wanted to work with. So,
yeah,
which is a fair complaint. Like that, I was thinking about looking it up until you said that, and I was like, "Yeah, no home kid, I'm out."
Well,
which is impressive because Siri is just blown lately, but that's a different subject.
Yeah. I have both S Lady and A Lady devices. I'm trying to standardize on the S Lady for scenes and those kind of things, because with the new OS and iOS, she seems to have gotten a lot better. But not everything works with her. So, you do what you got to do. Today's MacVoices is supported by 1Password Extended Access Management. It is security for the way we work today. Find out more at onepassword.com/MacVoices. Let me ask you something. With things moving at 21st century speed, when was the last time you upgraded your tech? Are you still doing things the way you did a year or two ago? When was the last time your key productivity software was updated? A week ago? A month ago? The developers of that software need to update to keep up and to keep you competitive. So why are you still using old MDM and IAM software that works the old way? You need to upgrade to 1Password Extended Access Management. Built for the way we work today, 1Password Extended Access Management gives you control over all the unmanaged devices, apps, and identities in your company, so they are secure and there are no nasty surprises. Every user is properly credentialed, or they aren't a user. Every device is identified and approved, and every app is visible. So no one is trying to run that crypto mining app on your company's device. Using Okta or Microsoft Entra? That's fine, but 1Password Extended Access Management makes it better. Google Workspaces? In beta right now. Step up your security and software game, because the bad guys certainly are, and your end users are busy doing their thing. Check it out at onepassword.com/MacVoices. Again, that's the number 1 and password.com/MacVoices. 1password.com/MacVoices. Thanks to 1Password Extended Access Management for their support of MacVoices. Brian, take us into round 2.
All right. So for my next one, I'll start with a short story. So picture this. You go in, you update your phone. For me personally, I updated from a 13 mini to a 16 Pro, and I had the phone for about 2 weeks. I go into the, I've been enjoying the phone for about 2 weeks, and I go for a swim. I take my phone out with me, I wrap it in a towel, and I put it aside the pool. I get in, I swim, I get out, and I'm grabbing the towel, and I just pick up the towel, for completely forgetting that there's a phone wrapped in there. And then I look down, and I see a screen that's all cracked. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Except I have good news. Thankfully, as soon as I ordered my phone, I ordered a tempered glass screen protector, and I put it on that phone. And so originally I was like, oh no. When then I went back to the room and I peeled away that tempered glass screen protector, and there was no damage. And so my next pick is a screen protector for a phone. The particular one that I'll make sure that you get the link for is one that I found on Amazon. And there's a million different brands of them, of course. I just happened to find one. It was a 2-pack for $6.25. It also came with a little back for the camera on the back too. So it protects both the front screen as well as the lenses on the cameras as well. And I'll tell you, my heart sank when that happened. And because that screen protector was there, all was right in the world. And as soon as I put on the new one, I went ahead and ordered that again, because that way I have one in queue for if that happens in the future again. So for $6.25, fantastic, just peace of mind. And even with, having the Apple Care, that still has some cost to it to replace. And then just obviously the hassle of being without your phone for that limited amount of time as well. So that's my pick.
Brian, I love that. I don't know why people fight glass screen protectors so much, because they're cheap. Now, unlike the old days, they're so easy to install. They don't interfere with the touch interface at all. Once you put them on, you don't even know they're there until you have a situation like yours. And then you think, oh, yeah, maybe I'm okay. And you peel that off and you're okay. So great pick. Great pick.
Hopefully this story will put me over the top. I've never used screen protectors, but a while ago, must have been on MacVoices, and Chuck, you were raving about them, and you mentioned a particular one, and I went out and ordered it immediately, and it came like the next day or two, and I haven't put it on yet. So hopefully now I will go take that final step.
And Jim, I will tell you, you can, if you haven't done it before, you think, oh boy, this is going to be tedious, and I have to block off half an hour to do it, and nothing could be farther from the truth now. They are so simple to put on that you 5 minutes, if you're paranoid, that that you'd have to be super careful. But as long as you follow the instructions and just make sure the glass is clean, it's a piece of cake.
I definitely bought some and lost them before they made it to my phone.
I'm sorry, Britt. What did you say?
I definitely bought some and lost them before they got to my phone.
Okay, well, Ken don't know how to help cheap. Brittany's the only person I know that we need to put AirTags on her tempered glass screen protectors. Britt, round 2. What do you have?
Okay. I was trying to decide which one to do next. Okay, this is the one my pick is an odd pick. It is a snorkel, but not the snorkel, the words. Just a snorkel gear, the mask. So if you are nearsighted like me, you can get magnified snorkel gear, and then you can see the fish that are really far away like they're not really far away. And it's not as expensive as I thought it would be to get a prescription snorkel goggles. That's mask. Wow, doing talking. And it wasn't very expensive, and I went snorkeling with it, and I could see things really well that I would not be able to see without glasses. So I thought it was a really fun one.
That I had no idea they made anything like that.
Mm-hmm. I just assumed it would be hundreds of dollars, and it wasn't at all. I just had to make a guess on the magnification, and I can see fish better.
Okay, so it is not a prescription lens kind of thing.
You take your prescription, like you look at your prescription, assuming you can find it, and I found it as soon as I'd ordered it, and
it's
not before, but it wasn't far.
It's with screen protectors, yeah.
Right. That's where it is. No, I did find that one. I never found the screen protector. Ever. So you take your prescription. It's not the full. So if you have astigmatism or whatever, like it doesn't include that. But it's also like $25. And
Wow.
I had a snorkel that I could see with. Maybe 30.
When you think about
that.
It's an event that you may not do that often, or depending on where you're going underwater to see, it's like you may not get there ever again. It's like you want to see it. You'll never have that opportunity again, or at least for a long time.
I actually looked at the link. It was $38, but not hundreds of dollars, which is what I thought it would be.
Wow. Thank you. That's a new product. Didn't know that. I've got to look. I've got
sunglasses cost hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I've got to do some research on this. This is really interesting. Thank you. Great pick.
Well.
Great pick. Okay, Jim, that takes you to round 2.
All right. I think I'll pick this thing I just got for Black Friday. We talked about it a little bit last night, which is this sound blade from Blue Ant soundbar. So I just got it, and it's pretty awesome. Interestingly, I'm looking it up, and on Black Friday they were like, "Oh yeah, you're saving $80." No, it looks like I saved $10. But I like that it sort of doesn't take any space because it's under the monitor, so that space was already used. And it sounds so much better than my Mac speakers or the speakers in my monitor. And one thing I really like is it has switchable inputs, so it could be USB-C. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but it's got the 1/8-inch aux line in, classic, which is maybe that might be nice someday. And then what's really neat is it's got Bluetooth. So I really I find I don't really like to use the music app on the Mac. I'd rather listen to it on the phone, but this way I can, and I've got my phone on a stand in standby mode, right next to the computer, and I can just stream the music right to the Blue Ant, and it's great.
Yeah, I mentioned that I talked to these folks at CES last year, and I was delighted that you picked this, that I could actually get to talk to someone who now had it, because what I could hear in the craziness of CES sounded really good. But now you are using it in a real world environment, and I'm delighted that it's working and sounds as good as it does for you as I thought it would then. So it's a cool little design that really doesn't take up much space.
Well, it is pretty big. It's about the size of a skateboard. But since it's designed to, basically it's using space that's sort of free. And I haven't yet, I've only had it for 48 hours, and, I don't have a house to myself, so I've only run it at a low volume. At some point, I'm going to have to crank it up and see what it sounds like when you really turn it up. I think I've only so far turned it up to maybe 10 or 15%.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that it's supposed to be used as a desktop speaker right in front of you.
Right. So,
basically where
right
your monitor
me,
is. Yeah, you don't necessarily want it. I mean, well, some of us don't want it blasting all the time, maybe just some of the time. So.
Although, I think I could just use it, like if I'm doing something in this room, cleaning or whatever, I could just crank it up a bit and, listen to a podcast or music or whatever, and wouldn't have to be right in front of the computer. I think I'm pretty sure it'll fill the room with no problem. And also, I noticed the box says it's got an equalizer, so I haven't even figured that out.
I didn't know that.
Got to go read the manual.
Yeah. What a concept. What a concept. All right.
I only write manuals. I don't read manuals.
Yeah. Well, every year I think I go looking for new backpacks just because I'm a backpack person. And right now, I still have two favorites. I'll save the other one for another time. But one that I found this year that I really, really like is the STM DUX 30-liter backpack. And this is one that it has a bit of a form to it, so that when you strap it on, it's not like if you don't have it loaded, it can collapse down. It stays out. But the great thing is it's one big cavity inside with there's a place for a laptop, but the majority of it is just that one big cavity. And then they have those little Velcro dividers or shelves almost. If you sit it upright, they slide in and you can completely adjust them. And that's the part that I love, because most backpacks, you kind of have to take them as they were designed. There's really no way to expand one section or shrink another. And this one, because it's all one big cavity inside there, you can use those shelves to adjust it so that if you want clothes in one section and maybe tech gear in another, and then shoes in the bottom one, you can easily do that. So you get to choose. It has a good feel. It can pack a lot, so it's one of those that if you need to carry a lot, you can. But of course, when you carry a lot comes a lot of weight. That said, the straps are very, very comfortable, and it's from STM. And anybody that's listened to the show knows that I have a long-standing love affair with STM bags because they just hold up so well. I have one particular bag that I take to trade shows, and that's got to be 10 or 12 years old. Every time I go to their booth, they tease me about it because it's like the weather stripping hasn't even been worn off the zipper, because I just keep it for that one particular event or those events. But it's the perfect bag for those events for me. So if you're looking for a nice big backpack that can carry a lot of stuff, it's not necessarily 100% tech oriented, but it will handle your tech just fine. Go and check it out. Again, the STM's DUX 30-liter backpack. I think
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to ask: is that is it small enough where it's a personal carry-on for a flight?
Yes. In fact, Brian, I was a little worried about that because of the size of it, and it almost looks like it's too big. But I took it on a flight and had no trouble. Didn't have any trouble with the stewardess or the flight attendants. Sorry, just showed my age. The flight attendants, and I had no trouble sliding it under the seat, so it'll fit just fine.
Perfect. Yeah, I always try to avoid more checking of bags, so it's good to know.
Yeah. Again, especially if if you were just carrying tech, this may not fit exactly depending on what you're carrying. But if you're trying to do a combination thing, this might be the most perfect bag I've found yet.
Awesome.
So that takes us halfway through. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.